Wife professed to me that she wanted to go through with a divorce, but now has changed her mind, having trouble understanding why. Wife and I have been married for 22 years. Been together for 24. We have 2 children, an 18-year-old son and a 19-year-old daughter. From the start, we both dedicated our life to our children. Neither of us made much, but we still managed to put them through private school. This didn't leave much money and time for wife and I to go out and have fun of our own. Our children always had sports and tutoring and other activities that would take up most of our time. There were definitely times when it felt like our lives just felt repetitive and monotonous. We both shared these feelings, and we always said when the kids were gone we would go out to revive our marriage. Now, about 6 months ago, she starts telling me she isn't so sure we are best suited to be married to each other. She said we both make great parents but not the best husband and wife. I was pretty hurt by her words, but it's futile trying to love someone who doesn't love you back. We agreed that after our son graduates from high school we will go through with a divorce. We talked a good bit about this and when how weren't made for each other. She'd say, I don't think I ever had the hots for you, but you seemed like a loyal, reliable guy. This cut me pretty deep. I am not the most handsome guy in the world, but I am fit, tall, decently muscular. So I was pretty blindsided when she said this. Over time I started feeling less and less for my wife. I stopped thinking of the impending divorce as lamenting the loss or so of my wife, but more so entering a different stage of my life. I had accomplished the goal of having smart, successful children, and now I can move on with my life. I didn't feel sad when I left my parents' home to go to college. I was in fact pretty excited, so I brought that fervor and excitement into my own life as moving on to the next stage where I am single. It's odd, even the impending divorce brought me a lot of internal happiness and excitement. I started becoming a more sociable guy. I knew that eventually I'd have to start dating all over again. So I decided to start laying down the groundwork for after I was divorced. During the marriage, much of my identity was around being a father and a family man. I started to change that and became more and more of myself, if that makes sense. I was making more friends, particularly female friends. I didn't really view this as cheating. It was nothing I wouldn't do if my wife was there with me. Things were going pretty well in my social circle. My new changes were getting me a lot of attention from the women there. I overheard my wife talking to her good friend about my new found swagger and charm. Interestingly enough, after my wife told me she didn't have the hots for me, this is when I feel like she started developing the hots for me. For most of our marriage, I had to be the one to initiate sex. Wife thought it was the man's job. Well, after she told me she didn't have the hots for me, it was a blow to my confidence, so I stopped initiating sex by a good bit. This is when my wife started to develop a sexual aggressiveness that I have never seen before. Before we would have sex 3 times a week. Now we are going at it like 10 times in a week. There are times when both my children are up and awake and my wife would grab my hand and pull me away to the bedroom. She has recently told me that she doesn't want to go through with a divorce anymore and would like to work on our marriage. I don't know why, but I am upset hearing this. Although we don't have any problems going on in our marriage, I was honestly looking forward to the divorce. As sleazy as this sounds, I was looking forward to sleeping around. I had a couple of girls practically lined up. The other thing I find strange is how my wife's feelings changed. There was a time a while back where I suspected she might be having an affair. I caught her in a lie about a gift from a coworker. One of my theories is she was having an affair. She wanted to go through with a divorce so she could get together with him. Their relationship soon fizzled out, so she now is rethinking divorce. However, besides that one lie, she hasn't done anything really to make me believe she was having an affair. I know one thing, that if she was to have an affair, my wife would know how to cover her tracks. Another thing is I am really confused about her attitude towards me and sex. She told me before she didn't have the hots for me. Now she can't keep her hands off me. Did she say it and then felt bad so she is trying to make up for it? But if that was the case, why is our frequency of sex still so high? Does she have the hots for me now? If so, what is the cause of that? I haven't gotten physically any better, lost weight or anything. I haven't gotten a promotion. I have been happier, but that's it. But that is mainly towards other people. My attitude towards her has probably gotten worse. I'd say I became more aloof, a bit more sarcastic and teasing. There are a lot of things going on that I don't understand. I am really looking for some outside perspective. As of now, I do want to go to divorce, so there might be a bias in the way I am presenting information. Me, 34, male with my wife, 34, female of 8 years, found out she has been cheating on me. Me and my wife had been together for 12 years, 8 of them married, and have a 6-year-old daughter. Here is how I found out about the affair. Honestly, I'm glad I came to know about the affair. I now feel numb and don't feel anything for my wife anymore, who is just using me for money. I guess I make thrice as much as she does. My only concern is my daughter. Here is how I came to know about it. For the last 5 months, I've been working like hell, lots of overtime and weekend work to save money for her father, who is supposed to undergo an operation later next month. The stress from work and all made me irritated that day, and seeing my wife and giggling while texting on the bed rather than chatting or asking me about how I was doing made me snap, and I grabbed her phone. Sadly, it was locked in the process, so I asked her for the password, to which she vehemently refused and told me I was going insane. I then asked again, or told her I would take the phone to her parents' home and get it unlocked somehow and read the contents in front of them. Her parents are very religious. If they knew she had an affair, they wouldn't even waste a breath in thinking about abandoning her. To which she stood silent and told me that she wants out of the marriage. I still held onto the phone and told her if she told me the truth, I would not tell her parents, at which point she admitted that she was having an affair for the past 2 months with a coworker. I still asked her for the password and finally got it out of her and told her to go out of the room. I immediately locked the room and read the messages and found that it has been going on for about 4 months, twice of what she told me. She couldn't tell the truth even after getting caught. Connected the phone to my laptop and downloaded the entire chat history. I still don't know what made me do this, but I'm glad I did this. I then invited her in and asked what she wants to do now, and she told me she wants divorce, and so I told her to wait for a week and then decide again. Think about the daughter, and if you still want divorce, I will give you one, but I will take my daughter's custody with me. When I asked her the reason for affair, she told me that I was not spending enough time with her and was more focused on work. To hell with that. The reason I am working like a donkey and not having enough time even for myself is for her father's surgery. When I told her why she didn't tell me about this earlier, that she wanted more time, she told me she didn't get the chance. I wonder how she couldn't when we were still eating breakfast and staying in the same house. When I asked her did she not know the reason for whom I was working all this time, she just stood silent as if it doesn't even concern her. She had a so what kind of face. Yesterday she told me she still wanted divorce and wants the daughter with her. I told her that's not gonna happen, as I already saved all her chat history and will use it in court to gain custody. I made it certain to her that I will never leave my daughter. She was crying. I just left the room to go to my daughter's room. After that, I also told her to make her boyfriend fund her father's surgery, as I was not going to pay any. Stopped overtime since last week and started spending more time with daughter, and honestly I will still pay for the surgery, whatever I have saved up until now. I am an orphan and I love them like my own parents, but just told that to make her suffer. Was angry, justified I guess. At this point she started saying sorry and begged me to pay for surgery and will stop her affair and will work on marriage. Honestly, I don't believe her anymore. Greater than this, marriage will fall apart as soon as the surgery is done. I am thinking of going ahead with the divorce, but will take custody of the child. Greater than no need to pay alimony. State laws in case of an affair. Greater than child custody I think I can gain from the affair proof, and also in exchange for money for her father's surgery. My friends also believe I should go ahead with the divorce. Lawyer friend did too and assured me of the custody. I want to know, am I doing the right thing by going ahead with the divorce? Mostly worried how it would impact the daughter and also how I should break it to her family. Don't want to lie to them. They are like parents to me. Edit. As most people got this wrong, let me correct. I am not going to completely cut the mother from my daughter's life. However, I want my daughter to live with me.